Hey everyone, and welcome to Top Think. Today we're going to learn about how to make discipline your superpower. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Ignore the norm. While you know the importance of developing self-discipline, other people won't always understand. They might think you're strange for waking up before sunrise. Maybe they make fun of you for forcing yourself to be productive. They might even laugh every time you substitute a burger for a salad. While you're trying to rid your life of toxic habits, they'll tell you that you're making life harder for no reason, that you should just let loose and have fun like everybody else. But you're trying not to be like everyone else. The vast majority of people have no self-discipline. They struggle with motivation and find themselves wasting more time than they use. As a result, most people are unsatisfied with how their life pans out. They'll sit around years later and wonder about all the things they could have done differently to accomplish their goals. So yeah, you're strange. You're not like most people, but that's because you're doing something they couldn't. You're building the confidence and motivation to pursue your dreams instead of waiting for them to pass you by. You're looking into the future and taking concrete steps to achieve your definition of success. None of that would be possible without the self-discipline that you're developing right now, because all those good habits hone your work ethic and teach you how to use delayed gratification. Unlike most people, you can make sacrifices in the present and earn the successful future you envision for yourself. So go ahead, let them call you weird. Let them tease you about your detailed to-do lists or strict routines. You know that you're putting in all this hard work for a reason. You're setting aside short-term rewards to improve the quality of your entire life. The truth is, in order to surpass most people, you have to be different from most people. Now, that might mean skipping a party to grind out another couple of hours of work, or being made fun of by people who don't understand the long-term benefits of what you're doing. Either way, ignoring the norm is an essential part of the process, so don't be afraid to embrace it. Number 2. Execution plans. Setting clear and concise goals is a critical part of building self-discipline. But after you've established those manageable goals for yourself, well, what do you do next? Think about goals like checkpoints on your ultimate journey toward success. You have to stop at each one to get where you need to go, but sometimes the road from point A to point B has some twists and turns. Setting a goal doesn't tell you how to overcome the roadblocks standing in your way. That's where a detailed execution plan comes into the picture. After you've set your sights on a new goal, take some time to figure out the strategies that you'll use to get there. What information have you learned along the way that might help you? Can you anticipate any problems and find ways to work around them? Without an execution plan, even the most diligent goal setters may find themselves stagnating. That lack of progress can really take a toll on your motivation and self-discipline. So devise a detailed execution plan to make sure you never stop moving forward. Number 3. Snowballing habits. It takes approximately 1 to 2 months for your brain to register a new habit or routine. Now, of course, that number fluctuates depending on the type of behavior you're trying to learn. Let's take a bad habit like eating junk food. For most people, it only takes a few days for your body to start craving salty snacks. Why? Well, because habits with powerful short-term rewards are much easier for your brain to immediately latch onto. A good habit, on the other hand, requires your brain to make short-term sacrifices in favor of long-term benefits. These habits, despite being much healthier for you, take significantly longer for your brain to internalize. So, how do you get the best of both worlds? Is there some way to create habits that are healthy and easy to learn? The trick is to start small and then snowball these little changes into larger, more impactful routines. The goal is to increase the likelihood that you retain those habits. So instead of diving headfirst, you should gradually ease your way in. Okay, let's say, for example, that you want to start working out for an hour every day, but right now, you don't exercise at all. What's the chances that this new behavior will become a habit? Pretty low. So you shrink your ultimate goal down into something smaller and easier. Okay, let's try going for a 15-minute walk at the same time each day. That sounds easy enough, right? There's very little drawback, so it won't take nearly as long for your body and brain to get on board. Once exercise becomes a part of your daily routine, you can turn those walks into runs. You'll find the transition a lot easier when your brain has a similar behavior to build off of. It's already used to setting aside time to work out, so jogging doesn't feel like a major change. Eventually, jogging will feel like a regular part of your routine too. And when that happens, you can increase the difficulty again and slowly build toward your ultimate goal of an hour a day. While snowballing takes a lot longer than jumping right in, there's a much higher chance that those good habits will actually stick around. Number 4. Consistent consumption. Hunger and self-discipline are a terrible combination. Nothing's more destructive to your productivity than an empty stomach. The noticeable lack of energy leaves you fatigued and lazy. Low blood sugar triggers pessimism and ruins your concentration. And to make matters worse, almost everyone gets super irritable when they haven't eaten. Many people try to meet their health goals by cutting down their total food intake. This is especially common for people who diet by counting calories. They'll miss meals and starve themselves just to decrease their daily consumption. But that kind of dieting is terrible for your body and it wreaks havoc on your mental state. If you want to promote self-discipline, you shouldn't let yourself go hungry. Whenever you hear your stomach growling, don't wait to refuel. The truth is that you can and should eat whenever you're hungry, as long as you're ingesting the right kinds of food. You should be regularly consuming foods rich in protein, healthy fats, and nutritious vitamins. Not only do they foster a healthy body, but they also supply you with enough energy to keep performing at your best. So feel free to enjoy all 3 meals, and don't skimp on the snacks. Sometimes a banana or a bag of almonds is all you need to stay disciplined and productive throughout the day. Number 5. Strategic information. If you're having trouble avoiding bad habits, try to learn more about them and why they're so bad for you. Okay, let's say you notice yourself eating too much fast food. You've been trying to shake this unhealthy habit, but you just keep craving a burger and fries. So what's the best way to retrain your brain? You might start by watching a documentary on how all of that processed food is made. What ingredients do they use? Where does the meat come from? The goal is to discover exactly why it's so terrible for you. And that way your brain will have a hard time focusing on anything else. Whenever you come across a hamburger or chicken nuggets, those disturbing figures and images will pop into your head. This trick takes advantage of a psychological phenomenon called priming. When your brain is predisposed to a certain kind of stimulus, that first stimulus affects the way you respond to a second stimulus. Okay, imagine for example that you're shown a picture of some gross food, and then another picture of a beautiful sunset. The negative emotions from the first picture will carry over into the second. In other words, the sunset won't seem nearly as appealing because you associate it with gross food. You can do essentially the same thing with any bad habit. All you have to do is create an aversive stimulus, which is actually pretty easy. You can discover disturbing information about almost any bad habit somewhere on the internet. As an added bonus, more information means you can make more educated decisions. Most people just choose the option that looks the best on paper. To lose weight, they go running. To eat healthier, they start stockpiling vegetables. But different routines work better for different people. By diversifying your knowledge, you'll gain more control over your habits and have an easier time maintaining them. Number 6. Negotiating time. Time management skills are paramount for anyone developing self-discipline. In life, you're constantly balancing work, independent projects, social engagements, and more. So time management skills are essential. If you let yourself waste too much time, then you just start cutting corners or sacrificing your goals just to keep up. The last thing you want to do is compromise on the quality of your work. So, what's the best way to organize your time? Before you do something, ask yourself two things. Number 1, is it urgent? And number 2, is it important? If the answer is yes to both questions, then make those tasks your top priorities. Spend as much time as you need, even if it means sacrificing other, less important tasks. If it's urgent but not important, then reserve it for your free time. Try to commit as little time to these as possible because quality isn't all that crucial. Make sure you also leave room for important but not urgent tasks, like long-term goal setting. You can tackle these almost any time, so don't be afraid to work slowly and carefully. Finally, when it's not urgent or important, it's probably just another time waster. When you organize your schedule by importance and urgency, you spend less time wondering what you're supposed to be doing next. This gives you a sense of direction, which ultimately helps you stay on track. Hey, thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.